Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lock and Load Game Fest 2017. I'm going to be hosting today's big old 8-on-8 Battle of Boarsgate event.
16 players.
16 players.
Fighting over a castle.
Yep. And this is the culmination of the Crossroads of Courage narrative event, which has taken place all year long throughout 4 seasons. And this is the place where Holden will be decided to be either a Grimkin model or a mercenary model.
Yep, Holden's final fate is being decided today by this event. So we will produce a model for the Grimkin faction or for the mercenaries that will be Holden's final form.
Yeah, and this is going to be a big narrative event. So you're going to take a look at the table when we get there. It's 16 feet long, 16 feet of wall.
It's big.
It is Boarsgate.
It's big.
Like it is the north end of Boarsgate, the North Gate, I think.
I do not know.
Regardless, the goal of the game, depending on which side of the table you're on, for the attackers are trying to breach Boarsgate. So they need to knock down 2 wall sections and the main gate itself. If they can do that before the game ends, they win the game. The defenders, on the other hand, just have to protect one of those pieces
to keep that alive
to the end of the game to claim victory for themselves. Now, as a special narrative event, we have 2 GMs. We have William Hungerford, our organized play coordinator, and we have Matt Getz, our writing manager. And these guys are going to be doing all kinds of different cool narrative things. You want to talk a little bit about the feat tokens that players have access to?
So the players all have things they can do that are special and they're outside the realm of a game of War Machine. They are called plot twist tokens, and each one has one, and they can suggest things to Matt Getz, our GM. And if he allows it, they can spin their plot token, and that thing can happen.
Yeah.
So, for example, if there's a Colossal fighting alongside the wall, and you have an acrobatic model that wants to, like, grab a piston and flip and do all this crazy stuff, you're like, hey, Getz, can I do that? And he can say yes, and you spin your token, and then all of a sudden your model flips up and does somersaults, and he's standing on top of the wall.
Runs up it like a ladder. It's amazing.
But you can't say, I want Krios to drop dead.
Well, I mean, I guess if you told a really good story about how his cholesterol intake had affected his heart, but no, really, they're there for cool narrative stuff. There's also a preset list that players can do, so there are a few things just in case they want to pull them off. They can buy reinforcements. If a player's warcaster or warlock gets killed, they can spend their token to basically make their battle group go autonomous. So they can keep some of their heavy hitters in the game at a reduced effectiveness, but still there. So there's some really great stuff there. What else do we need to talk about with this game? It's going to be a long one, maybe. We don't know.
We've playtested it multiple times, and the length varies depending on the success and failures of the defenders and attackers.
Yeah, and how the players go into the plan. Now, our players who are in this event did get the rules ahead of time, so that they had some idea of what to bring, but they didn't know whether they were going to be attackers or defenders at the time, and they didn't have lists preset. So you can see there our players getting set up and ready to go. You've got a galleon on the wall there. Now, the walls do count as both elevation and cover, and they are obstacles. So you can't drag things over the wall. You can't throw things over the wall.
And the armies are asymmetrical. There are fewer points on the defender side because they have a hill with a wall on it.
Right. So
and the attackers have bigger models.
One of the things, like when we were playtesting and going through, is like everything on that wall outside of the huge bases are +6 to their defense. So shooting something on the wall is really tough to do. The defenders do have a way to get down the wall. They have rope tokens, so once per game they can spend. You see our GM there, Matt Getz, giving our players the story.
The ancient fortress of Boarsgate. This place has weathered countless battles, the stories of which are in every crater shell and every bullet hole on its walls. At this fortress, 2 unlikely armies have rallied, motley organizations that have no purpose being with one another, no alliances. They've come together as if drawn by some unseen hand towards some unknown purpose. Behind the walls, the defenders rally to protect Boarsgate and keep it from being overrun, while arrayed for battle on the fields beyond, the attackers stand ready to tear down its walls, break open its gates, and crush everyone within. There's also an unusual figure inside Boarsgate, someone whose fate is not his own. His fate now belongs to all of you. Welcome to the Battle of Boarsgate.
All right. So with that, the game is underway, and they will be beginning. Now, because there's so many players in this, there's a unique turn structure.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So the teams are being split into detachments. So 4 players make up a detachment per side. and there's Detachment 1 and Detachment 2, and they, as a group, can decide in what order they want their detachments to go. So when I believe the invaders start the game, the invaders decide Detachment 1 or 2. All 4 of those players finish. They play simultaneously. And then we go to defenders, and the defenders can then respond with Detachment 1 or 2 of their own, and then we go to the other ones. The other thing about this game is all of the shaking and focus allocation and stuff happens when you activate your models.
Right.
But all of the leaching and accumulating focus and stuff that you do in the normal maintenance phase happens in a maintenance phase for the whole team. So there's going to be a little bit of a difference to the timing of some things because you will get your focus back and then you won't necessarily activate those models if you're not in the detachment activating right away.
It allows you to respond a little bit more accurately. It also becomes kind of a little bit of a game in terms of how stuff works and what you want to do on your turn depending on your position.
So we got a lot of big stuff out there.
Yeah. So
Colossals and Gargantuans can climb up and down the wall freely.
They can climb down the low walls. The main gate walls you can't climb over. You can, of course, fly over those. One of the other things to note is that if you see a huge base moving along the back wall, that back wall, like rampart, isn't quite large enough for a huge base, but they're still allowed to move freely across that.
Also, a thing we didn't mention in the beginning, which you may see out there on the table at some point, attackers have ladders. So when they get a unit near the wall, they can place a ladder there, and then the ladder is a way for models to move up and down the walls
and also to attack each other. So you don't have to move up the wall. You can just, if you're within 1 inch of a ladder, you can attack any defender that's within 1 inch of the ladder as well.
To
on the top of the
abstractly
wall.
show that your guys are halfway
fighting
up
the wall.
Fighting.
Of course, you're still attacking over an obstacle, so there's the +2 defense, so it can be difficult to do.
And then all the defenders also have a rope they can spin that will let their guys scale down the wall. Because if you want to jump off that wall, you can.
Correct.
But you take a little bit different of a falling damage than the core rules. We're just making it, you take a POW 12 damage roll. If you get damaged, you fall down. So a heavy warjack may just dive off the wall on somebody and not be affected. But a bunch of infantry that want to jump off the wall might just splatter.
Most likely they will splatter. Yeah, absolutely. So we already have kicked things off with the attackers firing on the front gate. Now
so that front gate has 50 hit points.
Yes, and it's
the
Arm
walls
18.
have 75. So they're beefy.
They take a little bit to bring down.
And they count as friendly models. So you can Arcane Shield them or Shield Guard them. If you got a couple of heavy warjacks with shields on there,
wow. And after that initial volley, it's 16 damage boxes left on the front gate. So the attacker's wasting no time at all.
But what we can see right now is there's a couple of Signar Colossals standing right in front of that gate.
They are getting things done.
On it.
And there might have been a feat popped off there, too, just to start.
The other thing that's interesting about that gate is that it is passable by friendly models to it.
Correct.
So the defenders, they can't see through it, but they can walk out of it without opening it. So if you had something that had Swift Hunter or Sprint or something that could run out there and stab somebody, it could potentially run back through. There's also, we didn't mention because they're secrets, but there are surprises that are going to happen during this. Getz has got some plot twists of his own up his sleeve, and there's some other events that are going to happen.
Whenever you hear the shout of "Behold" from Game Master Getz, that means that something unexpected is about to occur. And the preset plot twists are getting passed out here.
Yeah, all these guys got the rules ahead of time, but that doesn't mean they memorized every single bit of it. And that menu is good to give you things you can do that might be helpful, like you said, making your warjacks autonomous once your caster dies. But it also can give you fuel for the fire of thinking about other things you want to do.
One of my favorites is the fact that as an attacker, you can spend your token to bring on a 6-point solo behind the walls. So you can have Finn just go murder machine behind the wall.
Finn just appears on one
of the end of the walls and just goes.
Jumping around. So one of the other tiny things about this that's going to be really important eventually is if you look close at the walls on the defender side, there are little gates and hatches. Like you can see one right now at the bottom of the screen in that one part of the wall. Any model on the defender's team that's large base or smaller can basically teleport from door to door. They can go into a door if they're within an inch of it, and then they can pop out within an inch of any door within 12 inches of that door they went into. So the defenders can basically run into the wall and then pop out other spaces to get their models more mobility. Because eventually, since their armies are smaller, there might be places on the wall that are undefended. They also can pass through each other's models. The attackers do not have that advantage. They will get gummed up if they're trying to all squeeze through the gate. But the defenders don't block each other's movement. So we've got a Legion force right there that's almost entirely flying. So they're not going to have a problem with the wall. I want to see that Galleon jump off the wall and stomp on some Titans. And if you've noticed that little tiny hut in the background behind the wall, that's where Holden's hiding.
Yes.
So eventually that hut will matter more when this.
Well, once they break down the gates, yeah. Once they break down the gates, I mean, there's definitely going to be some shenanigans happening by that hut and around that hut because of Holden's importance to the overall meta story right now.
And I don't hear anything else from Hungerford about attacks hitting that gate. So maybe that Signar stuff was the only thing.
I think the Signar stuff was the blitz, and then
and it just didn't quite push it down.
The deployment kind of looks like they kind of each player kind of took a section of wall.
Yeah.
You've also got you probably based on our playthrough, likely there's a follow up group that's probably sitting by the main gate. So we may see that 16 points go down pretty quick. You were talking about how they're friendly faction models to the defenders, so you can repair them. You can cast Arcane Shield, different spells on them. The other thing to consider, though, is the fact that they also count as enemy models to the attacking players. So things like Denager's Feet or spells like Withering, Parasite, all that good stuff can go on those walls as well.
And they count as large base constructs. So it's interesting that the guy playing the Siege Crawler is on the defender side, because if he was on the attacker side, those big guns on there would be getting bonus damage against huge bases.
Yeah. No, it's like there's a lot of different kind of things to consider in terms of what's going on. And then blitzing the main gate. Once you get behind there, you can definitely do some stuff. It looks like the defenders are about to take their first.
Mammoth is not part of the detachment.
I like the fleshy
right
mammoth.
Yeah.
But it looks like the attackers are wrapping up. We're looking for a proxy base real quick.
Got a bunch
of
on the
field.
Screaming at that wall. Hungerford's just right now reminding everybody how narrative it is and how loosey-goosey some of the things will be.
They were like, we can't really fit them up there. He's like, just figure it out. All right, so defender's going to pick which side is going to activate. Looks like they're going to go with what? They're deciding.
I saw a finger that looked like it was a 1.
So Detachment 1 it is.
Yep.
So Detachment 1's going to go. And they're going to have to respond to that. So one of the big choices for option 1 is the fact that there's a lot of models with repair by the gate, so they're going to be able to boost that HP back up.
I'm going to try to put some more of those
fix it
lost 30-something hit points back.
That was a good start. Yeah. Definitely a good knock for sure on that front door.
Mm-hmm. So you'll also notice that our players are flagged. So those gold bandanas show you which ones are the defenders, because eventually the defenders might come around the table. Like, there's no rules that say the defenders can't jump off the wall and just run across the entire table and like try to cast or kill somebody on the back edge or whatever. And also, I don't know if anybody did it, but Hungerford explained to them that there was no deployment zones per player. That if you really wanted to put one solo all the way on the other end of the board, you'd have to be running 16 feet back and forth, but you were totally free to do that.
Yeah. You definitely can. One of the things that's a little different, though, is that your friendly faction only applies to you.
Yeah.
So even if there are you see a couple Legion players on the field, or same faction players on the field, you can't take your Covenant Joe, for example, put him by your friend's Winter Guard and have him to like buff the Winter Guard. It only works on your army.
Yeah, we didn't want to have a accidental benefit of like the invaders are all playing Legion or whatever, so all of their feet stack on each other and it's just this one big massive ball of doom. So yeah, everybody is friendly to each other, but even if you're same faction, you're not friendly faction.
That Galleon's going to open up some fire on those encroaching attackers there.
Yep.
Oh, so the first plot twist is being used here.
Guess it's going to tell us what's going on.
So why don't you tell me what you want to have happen over here at this gate?
Okay. So Darius is going to pop his feet.
Okay.
He's going to rip that ironclad apart.
Okay.
And use it to repair and reinforce the gate.
Okay. So to repair and reinforce, and you're going to be tearing apart your ironclad to do it. So everyone, behold, as in a feat of desperation to keep the front gates of Boarsgate intact, Dominic Darius rips apart one of his own warjacks, and he and his halfjacks hastily rebuild it into the wall itself. As the light dies in this thing's eyes, as its cortex fades, you hear a plaintive little hoot of steam as if to ask you, why?
So that's the kind of example of the things that we want to encourage people to do. Oh, it's back to 50 hit points.
Woof.
So one of the most interesting things we did during one of the playtests is Brent Walder, our licensing guy who loves Legion. He was playing with Thagrosh and an Archangel, and his Archangel died. And Thagrosh's feat brings something back from the dead, but he can't bring back a huge base model in the current edition of the rules. So he suggested that if Thagrosh could plunge his own weapon deep into his body to spill even more blood, maybe he could bring it back, but he had to damage roll himself, and I think he ended up having 3 hit points or something.
Yeah, he had like 1 or 2.
But he got his Archangel back.
It was low. He did get his Archangel back.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorites was we had the Thagrosh player again in a different playtest game overboost his Awe-Think shard to get a little extra range on his spells so he could Mutagenesis up on the top of the tower and then morph into his second form.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Yeah, if you brought both versions or multiple versions of your caster and you want to talk those judges into saying, my guy goes epic, all of a sudden Striker brings a horse. He had one hiding in the background just off the table. Striker whistles and his horse shows up. And that Galleon's opening up on those Pharaoh.
Yep. Seeing if you can't put a couple of chip damage on that beast.
Mm-hmm.
So Hungerford just congratulating the Signar player in the center who, with the sacrifice of an Ironclad, has basically turned a very grim situation into a potential reprieve for our defenders.
Yep. Well, that Ironclad's got 30-something hit points.
It does.
So
it does. It seems legit.
Hit points
it
back
seems
on.
like it seems legit. It seems
I just
fair.
want to know if the arm with the hammer is like mounted at the shoulder so it can still swing around, or if it's welded all the way on so that like, even the fingers are flattened.
I think it's probably just like melded in.
Yeah, more than likely.
It melted.
Attack gate's probably not a thing they're going to allow. Although, if I was another defender,
you do that,
I would be like, hey, Getz, I use my plot token to say that the Ironclad's arm is still functional on the gate and it can whack
Unfortunately,
people.
Getz made a pretty clear point that the Cortex died. If he hadn't, I think you'd have
maybe
a play.
that arm is just like going crazy now.
Going crazy now.
It's just on auto, just flailing. It hurts friendly and enemy models.
There you go. Anybody who gets close to the gate. Anti-solicitor device. Quake hammer. All right. So we see the Galleon firing some more, or rolling damage now, on those minion war beasts that it managed to clip with its explosion. Another missed shot there.
We're deviating a little bit, yeah.
See where things are going. The Pharaoh battle group is taking some pounding, and then it sounds like some...
And what we can't see right now is on the other side, the siege crawler is shooting holes in some circle models.
Making things work.
But there's a Bronzeback and a Gladiator and a Cannoneer down there, I think.
We have 2 different Scorn battle groups. We've got the one with the Mammoth on the side the opposite side of where we're looking at now. And we do have a lot of mercenary players protecting the gate, which is very thematic.
Yeah, that's how Ord fights most of its wars right now. It doesn't put its army out there.
That's right. No, it doesn't really need to.
Baird pays people to do what he needs done.
Exactly. He's got
without being blamed for it.
He's got a lot of coin.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
And Hungerford is also explaining that he's not talking to himself, he's talking to us. But I would rather they think that he's talking to himself and he's just narrating everything for the fun of it.
Galleons have yet to be very accurate at this point.
We also got a Galleon on both sides.
Yes. We got Galleons for days.
This is kind of the beefier side, though. This has got the Glacier King and the Siege Crawler.
So the gate has been arcane shielded. So +3 arm, now looking at a 21. Back to full health. So Darius doing a lot of work on that gate.
Yeah.
Just kind of by himself.
And now Hungerford's singing.
TM work.
It's too bad people can't hear what Hungerford's doing.
I know. It is TM work.
Yeah. They might be about done with that detachment.
Looks like it. See a few miles behind the wall.
Oh.
I think we might be looking at some hyper-aggressive.
Yeah, he's going to hyper-aggressive those little
I think this is hyper-aggressive here. Yeah.
Forward. Yeah.
Doing some quick measurements to see if you can get to the wall. Remember, that is one of the sections that they need to destroy.
Yeah.
In between those two, basically, towers.
The destructible wall sections are pretty far away from the main gate.
Quick handshake there.
And if you see them from the face, they've got a lot more holes in them. They've been shot up more. So that's, and we also the terrain guys built replacement collapsed parts that will get swapped in for those that are ramps.
Hungerford freaked out for a second. He saw those handshakes happening. He was worried that there was some collusion going on between the sides. They let him know that it was just friendly sportsmanship.
So bringing that up, it's another possibility that some guy could be like, I used my feat token, my token to say, I was really not on this side the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see if somebody decides to be the ultimate traitor.
If Getz will entirely allow that, or if he'll make them roll, or if he'll make them like have half their models run off because of lack of faith in their leadership.
Be like, wait a minute, we didn't sign up for this, boys. Deal with it. So yeah, the hatches, like you talked about, you can move basically 12 inches.
Yeah, and there's hatches like on the ground on the backside, and there's trapdoors and hatches along the top.
Yep. And you can't charge through hatches, but you can pretty much do anything else you want to. So moving that 12 inches takes none of your movement. It's not like you're forfeiting your action or anything. And it's really important because, again, it's a 16-foot long table. So when a wall goes down and all of a sudden you're like, we need to reinforce the other wall, better get moving. You can only use a door once per activation.
Yeah.
So you can't, like, jump the whole distance.
Yeah. And some dwarves, some of the slow little dwarf guys, are using those hatches right now.
Quick clarification on the ladder token and how those work. Basically, the second that you touch the wall, you can choose to lay your ladder down. It doesn't cost you anything else. You just have to be in contact with it.
And one of the other things people might notice from this watching, to speed this game up, 16 players, we're not measuring angles for ranges.
Correct.
We're measuring the table as if it's flat.
It's all flat.
So when we say a model within 1 inch of a ladder's top or bottom can do X, Y, or Z, that is not considering any angles and weirdnesses. Yeah. That is basically that. Just imagine the whole board is flat. Because if we were measuring all that stuff, there would be line of sight problems with the wall, and it would be playable. It would just take even longer than this might take.
There's a level of abstraction going on for sure that makes everything smoother and cool.
So we're watching. We're looking at the defenders right now, measuring ranges and whatnot from their three big guys on that wall. There's also a Commodore cannon up there, I think. It looks like it.
I mean, when don't you want a Commodore cannon?
Like right by the galleon? There's a Commodore cannon.
That means that we've got a privateer warcaster running around somewhere. Being awesome. All right, wave 2 going towards the gates.
Yeah, Xerxes on his rhino thing, which real name I've forgotten.
You mean the name of the rhino?
The species name.
I think I don't know.
It's like one of those megafauna dinosaur type names, but we changed some letters here and there. I can't remember.
Let's find out. I'm gonna look for it. Keep narrating.
So Hungerford's explaining to us right now that Iacos brought a bunch of wraiths. So he's going to try and get Iacos to jump up on that wall and push people off of it.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
And that wraith engine could just waltz through.
It could. It can just pass right through and be like, "Hey boys, what's up?" I wonder if its giant knife fingers would be delicate enough to open the gate for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
To punch
Might
in
be
that,
a combination lock on the backside.
Yeah?
And I don't think his...
Well, maybe he can just ghost hand it. He can just stick his hand in and, go corporeal and mess it all up.
Well, we got a couple of Efrit scouts down there. their sniper rifles. I'm going to measure range from that mammoth to the stuff and still not quite be in range to open up with those big guns. So he rolled his D3 shots to see how many of the cannons were going to go off.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, try to get some deviations on that wall. But that wall is pretty high armor, so the blast damage
and
might
unfortunately
not do
there's
much.
not a whole lot of squishy stuff on top of the wall because we talked about how you get +6 defense in the wall. AoEs, making great siege weapons, don't really mind if they miss.
Yeah.
So it looks like that one does nothing. See Getz kind of talking to his players over there.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know who Getz is, he's our writing manager and our RPG producer. So he is quite used to narrating things.
He was perfect, the perfect choice for this role.
And did we ever introduce ourselves? Did we say?
Yeah, we did. We did at the front. I think so.
That?
No, probably not. I don't think I did.
I don't think I got to.
I don't think I did. I think I totally forgot.
That's okay. Fine.
It's not important.
Yeah,
it's not important.
Whatever.
I'm Will Schick.
And I'm Will Oz Schoonover.
Yeah, it's all Wills. It doesn't matter. Whatever you see on this screen, just assume it's a Will. You'll be great. It'll be wonderful.
A lot of people get grandfathered into the Will Club.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's true. It happens.
Everybody in my office is a Will, even Jack.
Even Jack. Jack is a pseudo Will.
Uh-huh. He's an honorary Will.
An honorary Will. Perfect. It's legit.
So I believe that is Morgul 2 down there with that Scorn warband. Hungerford
looks
told us.
correct. Once again, got some sweet incorporeal to use to go through the wall. Just be like, look, I'm a ghost.
Wait.
Whoosh.
Are you talking about Morgul 3 or Morgul 2?
Morgul 2. He's got that sweet, he's got the new spell.
Oh, yeah. We changed him.
Yeah, we changed him. We made him awesome.
Keeping track of things.
Or Fury 6, that, I forget whatever that ghost spell is called. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Talking a little bit about like pushing things off the wall. One of my favorite things is Angelius doing repulse, throwing things off the wall behind him. It's so cool.
And Hungerford's explaining that place effects still don't throw you off the wall.
Right. So if you get telekinesis off the wall, you don't. They gently let you down.
And if you have a model that can leap, it can leap on or off the wall.
Yep.
Those short walls.
Another cool thing is you take Thexus or Haley 2, and you're like, telekinesis, and you just lift them up the wall. You're like, go, boy, go.
So that Wraith engine is potentially a game changer if it can get through that gate and take out Darius with all of his repair power. If they're relying on Darius to, in the future, also repair without a plot twist.
Well, I mean, he's fairly decent at it with his half-jacks. The problem is that he's burned his feet, right? So, the feat token's gone itself.
Yeah.
The plot twist token. So he's not going to be as effective, right? They have to assume that gate's probably going to get brought down soon. And there are 2 Signarin Colossals that are within charge range of it. It's probably going down. It's not looking good.
I hope one of my favorite suggestions for this happens, because Gargantuans and Colossals can climb up and down the wall, but battle engines cannot.
Correct.
But I suggested during one of our playtests that I wasn't playing Pharaoh, but somebody else was, that someone should use their plot token to turn on the magical powers of that meat thresher, because it's basically a giant.
It is
a giant cylinder with claws on it.
Right, so it can climb the wall.
It could more than likely climb those walls.
As long as they heat those little piggies up enough, it could totally work.
Just crank it in overdrive.
I agree.
And scale that wall with it.
I mean, in one of the initial playtests, battle engines could cross the walls like Colossals, but it led to a lot of ridiculous conversations about spider horses.
Mm-hmm.
Because when a gun carriage can run up a wall.
Yeah.
And then do crazy things across the wall.
Maybe it has one of those Knight Rider boost buttons.
Yes.
I mean, he can jump anything. You don't need a ramp.
There you go.
Just jump.
Just do it. Just do it.
Those horses could jump.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So awesome.
explaining things to people about realities of the wall and situations.
So it looks like the last attacker is kind of completing their activations, and then they're going to move over to the defenders, and that's going to complete round 1.
And it looks like potentially both the Glacier King and the Galleon on that end of the wall are in the same detachment. Because Hungerford was telling us about the siege crawler shooting stuff, but I don't think he talked about that Glacier King. And
correct.
It looks like that Galleon hasn't activated yet because he's not as far forward on the wall as he could be. Now, deployment-wise, they could have set their models up anywhere on the wall. So even on those little parts that stick out past where the gate is, that are more than halfway across the board, people could have had models on.
They also have
playtests. There were models out there.
And you don't have to place on the wall if you don't want to. You do have enough deployment that you can place things like basically base to base with the wall.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to waste the rope token or you want to be crazy and like sally forth right away.
Or if you had arcing fire cannons you want to put back there.
Sure, yeah. All right. Some quick token placement to mark things for that Crixian force that's trying to phase through the wall. Quick movement here going on. Players still kind of talking about how awesome the
Yep. Here comes our
here
first
comes a stalker. So he's going to leap thanks to Iacos's feet, right?
Stalkers have leap normally.
No, but he got the extra distance from
Yes, he got the extra distance from the feet.
Yeah, because he wasn't quite in range, so the feet gave him +3.
Now, placement might be iffy on that thing. So, yeah, they're going to...
He's got 5 inches. Looks, he can barely get in there.
Yep.
Woof. Stalker for days. Stalker's not messing around. He's just like, boing.
I can't tell what model he's going after, but...
All right, Stalker, do your thing. Don't let us down. And the roll to hit.
These might be backstrikes, too.
Looks like it does hit. I think so. I mean,
yeah, I think
it's not like they were expecting a Stalker to leap over their head. Wow. So one gun mage, one Thorn gun mage apparently got strangle-held despite the +6 defense.
Yeah, by that death jack down
the other
there.
one got murdered by that Stalker.
Yep. So that's one Thorn.
There's one poor Thorn gun mage left
on that wall.
Oh, it's bad, boys. It's bad.
And it looks like that since that's not the part of the wall that can get knocked down, they might not have put as many models over there. So
correct.
That Stalker, they might not have anything
that Stalker's just going to run rampant now. They're
to
going to
that
be like,
Stalker.
Well, they can always go through the, yeah.
Oh,
well,
the hatches. Hungerford's going to measure to see what hatch movement is like.
Well, it's the Stalker that's in the hatch. So the Stalker can basically start going crazy through the doors, and it's got extended control range. So it's got a lot of options here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Wraith engine is going to run straight at the wall.
Here comes the ghost.
Yep.
They probably have some magical weapons on their warcasters, right? That'll be fine.
Well, there's a gun mage right there. He could totally
that gun mage is
not handle that.
That gun mage is about to get stabbed. Oh no, he's just out. All right. So Detachment 2 for the defenders is going to go now. That was the conclusion of the last detachment for the
I imagine that both of those Signar Colossals will still be there at the end of this detachment.
It seems really likely, although
I mean, there's a little bit of stuff around that gatehouse, but
is it all Darius' stuff? I mean,
I think it's a different army on top of the wall than the Darius stuff at the bottom, but I can't tell.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, dropping 2 Colossals at once, like there are many people who can do that with 35 points of models or 25 points of models. So we'll see what happens here.
These players are also taking advantage to try and milk Hungerford for information about the stuff from the keynote.
Yes.
While he's distracted trying to slip in Dracodile questions.
Well, Dracodile. I mean, most of the Dracodile questions that are important were pretty much answered.
Yeah. They were in those
Spray
little
10, crit blind. Come on now. It breathes on you and your eyes melt.
Man-eater and everything else.
Man, Man-eater's so gross on that thing.
Yeah.
It's just not nice. And now that you've got Disciple of Agony, so you can just take it in your Scorn army, what are we thinking? What are we doing?
Fun time. Fun things.
We've lost our minds.
Exciting.
Lost our minds. All right. Defenders. Gunbjorn apparently gonna reposition himself through a door. So you've got a little bit of concern from the defenders on how close Xerxes and his mammoth train is getting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Gunbjorn.
So there's Gunbjorn.
Gunbjorn moved over there to try and take a shot at Xerxes.
I mean, Xerxes is right there. Why not?
Yeah.
Shoot. Bazooka to the face. All right.
I don't see any shield guards around that Xerxes.
So Hungerford pointed out the ladders allow even huge bases to attack freely. And Xerxes can fight Gunbjorn up the ladder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's explained the abstraction of the fact that models are basically
effectively
imagined to be hanging off the ladder fighting.
Right. It's a very Xerxes thing to do. Like, charge forward with your Rhino, throw the ladder down, leap, smack, land perfectly back on the Rhino.
Jumping off the back of that Rhino.
It's something that needs to
He's already
happen.
halfway up there.
Exactly.
Just imagine a Yoshi jump on that Xerxes situation.
Does the Rhino's legs? Do they kick really fast?
I think so. Yeah.
Give it a little extra momentum.
I'm throwing out all these amazing plot twist ideas, and no one.
I know. They can't hear you. That's the problem. They can't hear you.
But it also allows us to talk about Hungerford, and he can't hear us yet.
It's true. It's true. He'll only find out later.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Gunbjorn took his shot. He does hit for 9 damage. And then Xerxes transferred the damage. Gunbjorn just making Xerxes mad.
Yeah, I don't know if Gunbjorn can handle the melee.
No,
I mean, they're basically on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Gunbjorn not really known for punching things. Yeah, he wants to bazooka things. Now,
although if
the ladder doesn't make you count as engaged though, so there's a Glacier King coming.
So
he's
the Glacier King just
hey boys,
hops off the wall.
So he just climbs down the wall. Yep, and he's like, let's do this. So, he's back up the wall. He's like, I don't really know what I want to do.
I think he's so the player's asking about the flatness of the board we were talking about earlier because he wanted to see exactly how much movement he could get when he gets down there. But you can charge down off that wall if you want.
No, you can't.
You can charge off the wall.
You can charge off the wall. You can't charge up the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we got a.
Yep. Looks like we're using.
Oh, here we go. It's going to be Behold time. Little consideration here.
So
do it.
We've just discovered that you're not able to really gracefully get down off this wall, right? So your Glacier King is going to hurl himself down. This doesn't count as a plot twist. This is a
not using a plot twist here.
Resolution. You can't have that extra movement for free, though. So you are going to take that falling damage roll when you land. All right.
So we've got
some
falling damage going on here.
Possible. Yep.
So the Glacier King just makes a flying leap. We get the roll, and that is the damage roll for the falling damage that he decided he was going to take in order to flying leap off the wall rather than climb down.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it took a little bit of extra damage just to get some extra movement.
Yeah, because he wanted to walk off that wall, and there wasn't quite enough space to place his base. So
correct.
We said that he kind of action movie flipped over that wall.
Yeah, basically. Took a lot. And he misses the shot on Xerxes, really trying to take Xerxes down a peg with his wind howling attack. Storm Force Gale. What's it called? You're a developer.
I've already explained to you I don't remember anything that's current with our models right now.
You're not helping me.
As a developer, it's worse because I have every playtest version of every model.
Oh,
in my
I know.
Head
That's
now.
why I'm relying on
and
you to know this stuff.
if I start talking about models, I might accidentally just start rambling off new things that don't even barely exist yet.
I mean, maybe. Oh, no.
That has been the most interesting thing about my Company of Iron conversation so far, because people keep asking questions like, how do you do this, how do you do that? And I'm like, well, you start by building a War Machine army the way you would build a War Machine army.
Exactly.
20 points of solos and infantry, basically. And people are like, but are there other army construction rules? And there are, but they're not different. They're just War Machine.
Just on top of. I'm going to find this out. I'm using War Room right now.
Okay, we got the...
Wind Thrower.
Wind Thrower.
Wind Thrower.
Pirate Troll's moving up there. Next to Gunbjorn. Is that a Storm Troll, too?
Where? That's right a Pirate Troll.
No, the one in the middle by the Siege Crawler. He's almost touching right now.
Yeah, that's a Storm Troll.
Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't tell from the paint job exactly.
That indeed is a Storm Troll.
Those big lightning spines on his back. I need a zoom function on here.
Zoom! Enhance.
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 Yeah. Sounds like players are making plans.
I think the Trollblood player is still trying to figure out how to kill Xerxes, even though he missed on a couple of his Wind Thrower attacks, which was super unfortunate. Because, I mean, Xerxes isn't really known to be hard to hit on that giant rhino.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a supercharged Minuteman from Nemo. Leaping off the wall. Okay, there he is. It's like, hey, boys, what's up, piglies?
So he walks
and jumps fine. And he's going to shoot Arcadius across the wall.
Yep.
Let's do this. Minuteman!
Oh.
I mean,
measuring control range.
Does it matter at this point? He's got his focus. Depth 19 behind the wall. Minuteman only needs a 13 to hit here.
Sure.
He's got this. Still in future sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he was measuring the command range for.
Yep.
Or control range.
Haley, too. So, I mean, just boxcars it, and you don't have to
Yeah,
oh, my Lord, he hits. Arcadius has one transfer. He's going to take a POW 14 to the face. It's just a bad day. Arcadius is like...
Yeah, Arcadius is not really built to take POW anything to the face.
He's just a doctor.
Got a snazzy coat.
So he boosted one. He boosted the attack or the damage roll. So 13 total damage.
So
and it's going to get transferred, obviously.
Which those Razor Boars have 13 hit points, I believe. So Razor
that's
Boar
a dead Razor Boar.
Explode.
Poor Razor Boar. Just having.
He's also got fun. 3 Warhawks though, and
so deciding that maybe he won't take another shot at Arcadius. He's POW 14. 13 straight damage. And the Gorax is going to take it, apparently. So it goes to the 2. So that is going to be one messed up Gorax. Not dead, though. Not dead. Just, hurting.
And Arcadius is well suited to keeping those things alive.
Yes.
His spell list and other things.
Yeah, Psychosurgery, pretty huge. See that encroaching Scorn and Circle Force with a Meat Thresher, just, for kicks and giggles. Coming towards the
there's a Carver back there, too.
Is there a Carver back there? There's some pigs? Oh, there are some pigs back there.
So, yeah.
So you got 3 full kind of forces going that way. Oh, and there's a miss from the other shot on the Minuteman. Minuteman is probably not going to be happy after this.
Yeah, that was a Hail Mary.
He did his thing, and he was like, woo! And then sadness. All right, so we see a couple more.
We also got a couple of Razorbacks down there behind that wall. They're not going to be within range of that wall for a little while, but
no. All right, some more maneuvering and positioning here. Getting ready to go. All right. Now that Minuteman's just hanging out down there, being like, "I shot you." So we've got the Commodore Cannon making a shot to slam the Pureblood Warpwolf into Getorix from the wall. It's pretty legit.
I was wondering when that Commodore Cannon was gonna start shooting stuff.
To start unload. Commodore Cannon's so good. Send things flying. All right. Hungerford lamenting that he looks insane right now because he keeps talking regardless of what's happening.
He's explaining to Valerie, one of our social media people.
Yeah.
So that she won't think he's even crazier than she already does.
She already knows that he's insane, so it doesn't really matter.
We office across from each other in the hallway, so she's well acquainted with Hungerford's insanity.
I mean, everyone is because Hungerford's really loud. All right, so super slam damage. And the Commodore blasting that poor Pureblood into Getorix.
Oof. Ooh, 18 damage.
That's unpleasant. Remember, this is just round one, so
yeah, this is the
so much has happened already.
Round one.
We had the gate almost go down, get fully repaired by Darius and his feet, along with his plot twist token, sacrificing Ironclad to do it. Had Xerxes getting some shots put on him by Gunbjorn and Trollkin. We've got a Minuteman bravely jumping off the wall, going forward to shoot Arcadius in the face.
So Hungerford's also telling us, non-game related, that we may be taking a lunch break. This is a event that could go forever. So we're going to take a lunch break. Well, it could.
But like all day.
Yeah. I mean, we could be playing this Sunday afternoon. If
really?
If these players.
Sure. They could decide that pace, I suppose.
And they're like, we're all going to play super cautious.
Yeah, sure.
They're not playing very cautious.
No.
But
they're going all out. The attackers are doing what they do, and the defenders are trying to do their best.
But there will be a lunch break in this, and it will be between rounds. And so they're going to decide, I think, at the end of this round if they want to do lunch now or if they want to play the second round and then take a break for lunch. And they're just confirming that all of the parts of the Boarsgate Fortress are still healthy because that gate got put back together.
Correct.
But there's quite a bit of shooting on this.
There is.
What would be the attacker's right side of the board.
If you know when you know you're going to be on defense, your best bet is to like load up on the guns because you're not really going to want to jump down the wall and be like, "Let's do this, boys." You want to shoot as much as possible. So the Galleon moving through. Now you'll notice that Galleon moved across one of his friends. That's because all the defenders get Tactician, so they can move through friendly models.
Yeah,
and that allows them to position better on the walls and
pretty
stuff.
Early.
Yeah.
We had a playtest where I think there were 2 or 3 armies behind the gate,
right,
all just piled on top of each other, and the guy in the back was a later detachment, so he couldn't have done anything when his army activated if he couldn't move through his friends.
So Galleon taking some shots here on the circle, the knockdown Pureblood, it looks like. It's a lovely shot of somebody's arm. Just hanging out there.
A bit of shirt.
Perfect. So all the shots are going into the Meat Thresher because apparently the Meat Thresher is terrifying.
Telling you.
Shoot themselves a piggly wagon.
That thing climbing that wall.
I mean, if somebody has that brilliant idea.
I want it to happen. I might plant that brilliant idea.
Yeah, you just be like, hey, do this. Do this.
It's an all-terrain vehicle. Walls are a kind of terrain.
That's true. It's true. Sheer cliff faces are a type of terrain.
Yeah.
All right, just a quick calculation on dice. That's a boosted damage roll. Talking about how you just rolled the column, even though it's not important.
Yeah, a lot of players, when they're shooting at big stuff, they're used to determining columns.
I do it all the time.
Engine,
I'm just like,
even
whatever.
though we gave them more hit points in the recent CID process, we did not give them columns.
So Hungerford talking with the Pharaoh player about how many boxes that Meat Thresher now has, just able to weather a lot more fire.
And I don't believe that we heard from Hungerford how many galleon shots were coming out of that thing. Because it has the 2 different cannon banks to get D3 shots.
Yep. So he fires the harpoon even though it's out of range. And claims that it's a warning shot.
And then just reels it back in.
He just reels it back in. So, I mean, really, it's just fishing.
We're deciding lunch right now. Captivating commentary of the lunch.
All right, so it looks like we're going to keep going. So there's going to be a 5-minute break.
Yep. A little bit of a potty break.
And then they're going to do one more round, and they'll break for lunch. So got a little short break as our players go away to hit the restroom, kind of reset, talk about their next upcoming round with their teammates.
Yeah. I'm guessing they'll probably go in this. Well, maybe not. They'll get to decide detachment order. So if that circle detachment doesn't go first, they won't be knocking that gate down as fast. But I'm guessing the Xerxes player will want to take his activation now and not second.
I mean, I don't think that he wants to get counterpunched by the Glacier King for sure.
There could be some interesting conversations in those huddles this time.
Yeah, who's going to go? Who's going to go next? And that's one of the interesting things about the strategy and stuff is that you set your initial division and we have a plan, and then all of a sudden things unfold and you're like, wait, now our plan doesn't work. Why can't we move our detachments around?
Well, Arcadius is staring down a Minuteman still.
He is, and he kind of needs to go first to kill the Minuteman.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Minuteman can leap over him, shoot him in the back, right? It's one of the fun kind of discussions that you have to have is what are you willing to risk? What are you willing to push forward on?
And that Stalker was in the second activated detachment, but maybe they'll want to go first with that one.
And the
Wraith engine.
And then you got the Storm Wall and the Hurricane, which are facing down the door, who could probably bash it through it this turn if they go first. But if they go first, then Xerxes isn't going first because he was part of the second detachment.
He's going to take another shot from Gunborn.
It's a whole lot of or a charge from a Glacier King. So there's a whole bunch of different challenges. You got the Wraith engine that can go through the gate. Choosing which section of detachments are going is such a critical point at times with this kind of conversation. My guess would be that Xerxes and the detachment 2 on the attacker side will go first.
I would think so because there's not a lot of beefy stuff to hit those Signar Colossals.
No, I think the Colossals are pretty much set and safe to go. It's all going to come down to making sure that Xerxes lives and Arcadius. And I don't know if Arcadius was in the first. I think he was in the first group.
I feel like he
which
was
means
in the
that you
first
either
one.
have to choose.
It's going to be the pull
do you
between
either
those
choose,
two players.
Does the Minuteman represent a significant threat to Arcadius, or is Xerxes more in danger? And again, like you talked about at the start, they're going to leech before the round begins.
Yeah.
So Arcadius is going to be sitting on full fury. Chances are that Minuteman doesn't have enough by itself.
Yeah.
To murder a fully furied Arcadius, but Arcadius' turn is going to be kind of sad. As far as his spellcasting ability, if he has to
dump a bunch,
transfer a bunch. Xerxes, on the other hand, I don't know that Xerxes, as tough as he is, can take a full charge on from a Glacier King.
Yeah,
that seems like it's going to go badly, even if Xerxes has 5 fury.
I mean, that's going to be the Mammoth going after the Glacier King, or the Glacier King going after.
I mean, that's an epic clash of titans right there. Because if the Mammoth can get the charge off on the Glacier King, which it probably can between rush and its reach. It's hard to tell the distance, but I know he pre-measured it, so he might have measured in just a way to keep just outside of the Mammoth.
Yep. And they were talking about Fury for Effect, Fire for Effect.
Right.
Fury for Effect. Fire for Effect on that Siege Crawler, so that probably means Osram is down there with Snipe.
Right.
Also.
Just ready to go.
Closer they're not necessily safe from getting shots from that thing. It just doesn't have Snipe on it right now.
Right, yeah. And so, again, there's so many different, strategic decisions you have to make. And for the defenders, too, they just don't have as many models.
Yeah. Every model they lose is much more important.
It's huge.
Those 2 Thorn Gun Mages were a significantly larger percentage of that army than, like, one thing that might have died on the attacker side.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, so, like, it's going to be really interesting to see how the players approach it, what the counterplays are. You know, like, having played the scenario a few times, it's impossible. It's pretty much impossible if the attackers are being aggressive that you keep the entire wall intact.
Yeah.
You can manage, like, I would say, like a major victory for the defenders if you keep 2 of them intact. And, like, really, the victory alone is just keeping 1.
And victory conditions for this is when the game ends, which the players don't know what triggers the end of the game yet.
Yeah.
That's one of the secrets of this.
Yep.
If when the game ends, those 3 things are knocked down, the attackers win.
Right.
And when the game ends, if at least one of those is standing, the defenders win. But they don't know what's triggering the end of the game yet, because that's one of the things that we are keeping close to our chest.
It's going to be a behold moment from Getz.
I also imagine there's going to be a lot more plot twists during the second round than the first round.
Yes.
Because there's a lot more models that are within range to use interesting things.
The fact that we actually saw 1 plot twist on turn 1 to repair the gate that took such a beating was a little surprising in and of itself, but a great plot twist and probably took the defenders from, like, being on a severe back foot to being, you know, the game is pretty much even, I would say, at this point. So yeah, a lot of interesting choices to make, a lot of different things going on there. Be really curious to see, you know, how the feats stack up in the next turn.
Yeah.
You know, Darius has spent his. I think he was the only one who feated so far.
The only feat I heard about.
So, you know, like, we thought maybe Iacos had feated, but it didn't look like in the end he had. And then we also weren't sure if the Signar Colossals had been under feat when they attacked the door. But again, it seemed like that had not happened. So there's a lot of feats left to go. We've got ladder tokens that need to get placed. Our players have returned. So now we're going to get to find out who's going to do what for round 2.
Round 2's about to start.
Yeah.
So they're going to have some time to talk about their plans unless they all went to the restroom together.
Yep. No, I think there was a lot of consideration there, a lot of different discussions happening. And again, it comes down to, like, self-preservation, right? So first thing they're going to do maintenance and control phases. They don't allocate and they don't shake.
But everything else
happens, and it all happens basically simultaneously.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that we'll see an upkeep of the Arcade Shield. We'll see if any of the attackers frenzy, because the attackers go first, and then the defenders go. So frenzies will happen on the attacker side. Power-up does happen. Allocation does not, though. So it's a little bit of a twist on how everything kind of works out because of the interplay, but it really makes the turns have a lot of meaning once you get to those activations.
It's also a factor of the fact that you could be waiting a long time between your activations, and if you don't get all your focus back, then you could just get shot.
You just get shot off the table. Like Xerxes, for example. We talk about the kind of the difficult situation of if Arcadius and Xerxes are in different detachments, which they are. Which one do you pick? Which one do you not pick? Based on the threats, at least in this, in this format. Yes, one of them is probably going to get hit, but they'll have all their fury either way.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hungerford's reminding them that things will get weird at some point.
I mean, Hungerford's standing at that table. Things are already weird.
Oh, yeah.
They're only going to get weirder.
Oh, they're going with number 2.
All right.
So that is not the Signar Colossals.
Group 2 is not
Signar Colossals. But that is the Wraith Engine and the Stalker and Xerxes.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the other Scorn, the Morgul Scorn group. So interesting. So we're gonna get to see if the Minuteman can pull off some kind of Hail Mary. Again, unlikely because of how much fury Dr. Arcadius is going to have. So, see Xerxes 2 and the Scorn player getting set up to cause some serious havoc. See some beast handlers, it looks like, moving up there.
Yeah.
Going to incite themselves a mammoth. So Iacos on the Crick side, getting ready to move through that wall because I'm a ghost.
So all the scorn is in one detachment.
Yep. So that side has to figure out what they're going to do with their galleon. Quick measurements going on.
And Hungerford's trying to figure out how the detachments have been split because he's lost track of which players are on what side.
So we got here comes a mammoth. Oh, head comes off the mammoth. And it looks like it is going to be able to get to the Glacier King. So
okay, so this Carver is in this detachment.
Here we go.
The Pharaoh on this end of the table
will be activating.
So that Arcadius is confirmed to not be in the activating detachment.
So Mammoth charges the Glacier King. Big old slappage of giant meat mountains here. I mean, that Glacier King's going to be real hurting if he doesn't just die. All right, so first swing hits. This is going to be the charge attack, which was free, it looks like, from the Pain Giver Beast Handler. So hits, cracks some damage in on there.
That's that Field Marshal Xerxes coming into play with the +2 speed to all the war beasts in his battle group, making that mammoth
so good.
A little lighter on its feet.
Speed 6.
Yeah.
All right, we see what's going on the other side of the table. Morgul 2 just popped his feet, so blind the galleon.
Oh,
and
Kane 3 got caught.
Oh.
So
minus 4 def, real good.
Yeah.
Except Kane's got +6 def, so
yeah,
it makes him hittable at least.
Yeah, we hadn't heard who was running this galleon on this end, but it's Kane 3.
It'll be interesting to see how the Scorn player capitalizes on that blind.
Yeah.
And, of course, Kane's going to be able to shake when his detachment activates. And, again, you want to run into that situation where do you have Kane go because he needs to shake blind and not be, a sitting duck for the second detachment, or can you wait?
That Morgul is out there.
He is. He's doing Morgul stuff.
He's in front of his army at the moment.
I'm sure the rest of the army will catch up. It'll be fine.
He'll probably need to put a couple of models in between that galleon and that Morgul.
I would hope so, although he also has all of his fury, so I guess he's got some good transfer options.
Yeah.
All right, and that is a dead Glacier King, clearly. Oh, sorry, Glacier King. Just got punched to death by a mammoth. The mammoth is like, "Brrr!" Dead carcass of the Glacier King.
Maybe he'll slip on the ice.
Maybe.
I used my plot twist.
There you go.
The corpse is so
I know
slippery.
He can't be knocked down, but I'm knocking him down. And then I'm going to have his ammo cache explode on him.
Now, they can also only use their plot twist during their own activations.
Correct.
They can't counter the other team's plot twist with their plot twists.
So
we've also got a ladder down, finally.
Uh-huh. So
somebody hiding under the edge of that wall right there, I can't see, walked up and dropped off that ladder.
Yep. Hungerford explained that you can't charge up ladders. You can only just attack across them. Whoop.
And then the Deathjack climbs that ladder.
The Deathjack is like, thanks, bro. So quick check on you can't charge, but you can trample.
Hungerford's reading off the ladder rules.
Yep. So you can place it within, once you're in base to base, place the ladder token down, engage anything within 1 inch, and basically make an attack. Bloop, bloop. Ah, the Deathjack. So Xerxes looking at what he can do with his ladder.
I believe it's a Serops.
It's a Serops, according to Getz.
Getz coming to the rescue.
He dropped the knowledge,
us the names. So, and they've just explained that he's got that ladder like fire truck style on the side of that thing.
Well, yeah. Who's not going to give Xerxes his ladder when he wants it? Come on now.
There's not quite as much flying stuff out there as I imagine there might be.
I mean, there's a decent amount on the Legion side. You got the Throne, you got, Air Force, Legion Force 1. So Mullet Karn getting real close. Just being like, oh, you're a blind galleon. I'm going to get up there. Deal with me. All right, there goes Xerxes. Is he going to drop that ladder down? So, yep. Ladder goes down. The real question is, was he able to get there and is he still able to attack?
Interestingly, it also looks like that mammoth head is magnetized on there so that he can
he removed it right when he charged because he got right in there.
Just a mammoth
head. The head has not been it has not been reattached. Where we're going, we don't need heads. So Xerxes, it looks like, had to trample or run to get to the point where he was able to drop the ladder down. So he was not able to attack.
The Scorn Army is just going to kind of file in behind and
moving in.
Stay close.
Their heavy hitters are up at the wall. They're doing what they want to do. Kind of talking about what can get up on those high ledges.
Yep. Those Legion models could fly up on top of there.
Yep. So Gunbjorn is now engaged by Xerxes because he's within 1 inch of the ladder. So they are counted as engaged with each other.
Yep.
You can kind of imagine. Oh, here comes an attack on the door.
So something in that middle.
There goes a tree that got knocked over.
That Bronzeback just piled through that forest.
He piled through the whole thing. Right. Just deforestation right there. Bronzeback. So Scything Touch has gone on the door.
The door had Arcane Shield, I believe, on it. So we're doing some spell counterplay.
Yep.
Try and drop that armor back down.
So arm 21 right now. Arm 19. So it went to 21 because of Arcane Shield, down by 2 from Scything Touch.
And they've done 2 damage to that wall, that door.
Yeep. That's not great. It's not a great start. We've got the Efreet solo, just kind of like taking pot shots.
Yeah, he's got a couple.
1 point of damage on the right wall from the Efreet sniper.
Yep, that sniper.
Pow!
All he's got to do is shoot enough times into the hole that's already there.
He's got this. Sniper rifle the wall.
Yeah.
Give me an army of Efreets and I will take down any wall.
I mean, enough days of this battle and that wall comes down to those sniper shots.
All right. Quick measurement going on here. Some consideration on what to do next on the Morgul side.
They also got some planning of that Commodore cannon.
I do, yeah.
That player's talking about targeting that meat thresher with the Commodore cannon.
So see the Crix player rolling some dice. Apparently, we're talking about some plot twist options for not having to spend a focus point to shake.
Ooh.
Or a fury point.
Well, that would be an expensive shake.
It would be, unless you had something else going on there.
Yeah.
Because you could be like, I mean, I didn't hear the whole plan, but clearly it wouldn't just be, I need to shake for free. But I need to do something a little extra.
Yeah, he may be just trying to get the best focus efficiency for the plan he has.
All right, here we go. Some attacks on, I think, the remaining Thorn Gun Mage.
We're also getting the inevitable plot twist discussion about a pork node.
It's true, the pork node. All right, the Wraith Engine coming through the wall.
Yep.
Hey, boys. Our walls aren't ghost-proof. Oh, my God.
Now, he couldn't charge because he couldn't see through the wall, because the walls do block line of sight to models on the ground.
He just got in there.
But, yeah, he's engaging a bunch of stuff right now. I think that's Ashlyn.
Yeah, it looks like Ashlyn and some of her battle group. So, Wraith Engine's still incorporeal.
Yep, and defenders are now the attackers are done, so defenders are choosing their detachment.
They're gonna have a quick GM conversation because I think they're formulating some plot twist plans. So, quick clarification on how round effects work.
Yeah, because turn effects work during your detachment's activation, not for your entire team.
And round effects are basically from your turn to your next turn.
Yeah.
So the next time that model activates, its round effect ends.
So that way, it spells that only last one round that protects you. Don't go out when it's
like you're like I took
took
my turn last, and like I guess that was pointless. Yes. Yeah, so the round is a bit more of a fluid concept in this to make sure that all of those effects last for the appropriate amount of time.
So yeah, they're in a deep discussion with the Game Master Getz, trying to hash out a plan for their plot twists.
We have a plan.
Detachment 1's going to go.
Okay. So that's going to include it's got Kane and his blind models.
All right, everyone.
So here we go.
The plot is about to twist. All right.
Here comes.
So you are currently blinded over here, correct?
Correct.
And you're relying on Kane's
mastery of arcane gunslinging.
Gunslinging.
He doesn't need to see.
I think I see where this is going.
He doesn't need to see his target to be able to shoot them in the face.
Okay.
So we're going to let him try. What he really wants is that Colossal to be able to fire it off. And I told him if he hits and damages the target the Colossal is shooting at, it'll be able to hear as whatever they target screams out in pain or some rocks break or something like that. So everyone, behold, as Kane does what Kane does and starts slinging some spells out of his pistols. All right, let's give it a try.
So the galleon hits, then Kane.
All right, so if the galleon hits something, despite being blinded.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, if Kane hits, then
Kane's
the galleon.
Going to try to do some echolocation with his pistols.
Yep, with his pistols. Like a bat.
If he damages something and it screams out in pain, then that will be like a radar ping for the galleon. So, yeah, he basically traded it for one focus, but he did it in a very interesting narrative way.
Right.
And I'm sure he has plans for that focus. He's activating Kane and his two partners. The remainder of the Black 13th.
I mean, it's 2/3 of the Black 13th.
That's a remainder.
It is a remainder, but it's a large remainder. It's a large remainder. Plus, they upgraded, let's be honest. They went from Lynch to Kane. They probably planned it that way.
And they went from all pistols to having a rifle, too.
He did get a rifle, yeah. He's just like, I found this. No, you didn't. You stole it. No, I found it. I swear.
Well, there is a novel all about some of those interactions.
There is.
So you can
Mark of Cain.
You can hear all about that.
You can. You can find out if I'm right. That he just stole it.
That's why I'm not contesting you, because I haven't read that book yet. You might be right. You
I
might be
might
wrong.
I might be.
You might be.
I'm not going to tell you if I'm right,
things.
though. I could be. I'd be making up everything.
That is what we do at work.
It is.
It's the best part about our job.
We make things up. There's no doubt.
Sit at my desk all day making things up.
Oh. Here comes some shots. And. So we got 2 damage on the gate, 1 on the wall. So the wall gets repaired from its 1 damage from sniper.
Mechanic ran off and found a brick, plugged it back in that hole.
Yep. He's just like, oh, we should fix this. All right.
So Hungerford's
it's like Galleon going to hop down and start murdering things?
Have moved to the other end of the table, so we're not exactly sure how successful this echolocation.
It looks like it worked all right.
I believe so. We've got that Galleon shooting stuff still. It's like damage rolls. And a transfer. It looks like the plan was for Kane to ping.
So he's blasting Morgul right now.
Yeah, he shot Morgul too with those ping shots, and the Galleon's firing on him, and damage is being transferred. Morgul might only have one more Fury.
Yeah, no, Morgul's looking at some pain here pretty soon. Shot.
Secret conversations the stream can't hear happening right now between a couple of our staffers who are participating in this. Exciting things are afoot.
Yes.
Looks like our Mammoth got his head back too.
Mammoth got its head back. Yep.
Once
the
that
defenders kind of start shooting back.
Glacier King's body fully melted, he could fit the head back on.
All right. See some attack rolls happening. Back to the other side where Morgul is.
Yep, Morgul's got no focus left, so he's transferring to a different beast, it looks like.
Morgul never has focus.
Fury, sorry.
I do
Resources.
Resources. He has no tokens. He's got no chits, and Morgul's going to take some damage here.
That's a pretty nice shot.
All right. We're going to have a dead Morgul soon.
He's still firing, it looks like.
Okay. Morgul's got like 2 left.
Yep.
There's another shot. And
so he might have used that plot twist to shake both Kane and the Galleon effectively.
Yeah, I think so. And it looks like that's a dead Morgul. So Morgul gets blasted by a blinded Kane. Or Morgul lives. One of the two. Haven't seen him move yet.
Yeah, no models have been picked up. Something's happening.
Something. I think we might see the plot twist where
we might have a plot twist discussion.
So Morgul took kind of discussion here. We have a bargain going on here for a plot twist. So GM gets allowing the rules to be broken.
So why don't you give me a quick rundown, just as brief as possible, what you asked of me.
Okay. Morgul, being the Lord Assassin, the Master of Shadows, seeing the last shot coming to fatally destroy him, dodges to the side, pulling the Cannoneer just into the right location where the shot would have hit him instead.
Okay.
Avoiding his final fate.
All right, everyone, behold, as Morgul, seeing the muzzle flare from an arcane mage-lock weapon, twists out of the way, and with a wave of his fan of shadows, is no longer where he is thought to be. The round crashes into the Cannoneer standing directly behind him, but not just anywhere, into one of the Venhokar explosive charges that it carries for its cannon. Everyone behold as that Cannoneer blows up into a cloud of flesh and gibbets.
Oh, my. And there goes the Cannoneer.
So that's the trade-off, I guess, of breaking the rules.
That's fair. I mean, Morgul's alive. That's kind of what matters.
Yep.
So Morgul does not take damage from the last attack.
Sitting on 2, it sounds like.
Not dead yet.
And he's marking all of the damage.
Yep, you see that Cannoneer getting blowed up.
Mm-hmm.
And there goes the Cannoneer. All right. So Morgul, and the best part about that is that Morgul then gets to leech all that fury from the dead Cannoneer.
So maybe he'll live a little longer.
Maybe. I mean, it seems like he might be able to weather this, potentially. All right, back to the Crick side here. So the Reaving has given Morgul a second chance on life. Pretty important since he's only got like 2 boxes left. Uh-oh.
So, having avoided his previous fate, Morgul is shot down in a fusillade from the galleon atop the wall. Behold and listen.
I'm going to use my own plot twist.
As something in the world shifts and grows darker, and you begin to hear laughter coming ever closer.
Oh. All right, your own plot twist.
My own plot twist.
Yeah.
So there's a board game event right now.
Yeah.
It's about to start.
Yeah.
And we did not know exactly when lunch would happen for this, so I'm going to run off and help run that board game event. I talked to Getz. He's going to let me turn into Lyle.
Yeah, I like it.
And then I may be back later.
You may transmute back.
You and Lyle are going to be talking about exciting laughtery things.
Let's do this. All right. Transmutate.
Yeah. Woodly, 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 woodly
there you go.
noises.
There you go.
There you go.
Poof. All right. Welcome, Lyle.
Hello. See, I was once Oz, but I've gone epic.
Now you're. So I don't have to explain anything that's happened so far because you're Oz, so you have all of his memories.
Of course.
Of course.
I know exactly what's going on.
So we have a dead Morgul.
Maybe for the benefit of anyone who might be joining us right now, though, we could do a little recap.
Yeah, we could do a little recap. Yeah. So Morgul has just died after trying to evade death through a clever plot twist, which broke the rules by happening not on his turn. And then we have our Scorn player now getting ushered in, getting indoctrinated into his new role coming up. And then otherwise, the defenders are just wrapping up their first activation of round 2.
And I take it the doors are holding strong, the walls are holding strong?
Well, so we started round 1. The very first activation, the doors got knocked down to 16 health points. And then on the defender's first turn, the Darius player, in a stroke of genius, used his plot twist, destroyed his own ironclad, and used the parts to fully repair the wall. So the wall is sitting on 2 damage at the moment. And the Scorn have run away. So the Scorn have completely fled the field from Morgul's side. Something else may be occurring with the Scorn player whose Morgul died and army fled.
Can we just take a minute to appreciate how beautiful this table is?
It's pretty slick. It's pretty slick.
It's fantastic. What is that, 20 feet of wall?
No, 16.
16 feet of wall?
16 feet of wall. See some rolling going on here. This looks like from the siege, the Rulik siege tower. Taking some shots. All right, so some more shots going on into the Mammoth from that Rulik Siege Walker, Crawler, that's its name, Crawler. We've got some more shots going on here. And again, the other really important thing to note is that though the gate got fully repaired through the Darius players' like clever plot twist, there's still 2 storm walls staring it down, like ready to start pummeling things, and they're going after this turn. So we've also got a Wraith engine that ghosted through the wall. The Deathjack climbed up a ladder. Like Crix is all over them walls. They're ready to cause problems.
I had no idea that Deathjack was so agile.
He climbed a ladder. It's a ladder. You saying a Deathjack can't climb a ladder? Come on now, Lau.
I mean, I'm saying it would have to be a pretty heavy-duty ladder.
It is. It's a siege ladder.
Fair enough.
It's made from whatever the P3 studio makes all of its awesome terrain out of. See some repositioning happening here. I think people are kind of getting ready for the attackers' main assault.
I think those mercenaries are about to earn their pay.
Yeah, probably.
We have one warning. Of our GMs, Hungerford's telling people to watch their back out there.
He's being kind of insidious here. So the Morgul player who lost, the Scorn player who lost Morgul, retreated after being offered a chance to gain revenge. What that means, we don't know yet, nor do the players, but all right, so the defenders are done. So we have attackers' final detachment to go. So this includes the center's Signar detachment with the 2 storm walls.
So what do you think? Are the storm walls going to bring down the door this time?
I mean, now it's possible that they don't, because they could roll Snake Eyes and miss every time.
Anyone can roll Snake Eyes.
Anyone can roll double ones. However, it's highly probable that wall is coming down. Like if 2 storm walls can't get it done, something has gone horribly wrong.
2 storm walls can do anything.
Basically, yes. Conceivably, they can do anything.
Yeah. Bake a pretty cake.
So, how's Lock and Load been for you so far?
Lock and Load has been really good for me.
Yeah?
I actually got to watch the keynote sort of as an audience member, which was kind of a first-time experience for me, so it was really exciting from that perspective. I'm really excited about the Alexa app. That's cool.
Yes. Yeah, we're really pumped to be working with Monocle Society on that. Again, for those who might have missed the keynote, you can watch all of the video presentations, the theme forces, the 12 Factions of Christmas, and the awesome P3 infomercial right now on our YouTube channel at Privateer Press Prime. I think this stuff will also have been archived on Twitch, so you can watch the whole presentation, the hour-long presentation in all of its glory, right now on archive. But of course, you're with us right now watching this live streamed, and seems pretty awesome. But we're going to have a lunch break here coming up after the end of this round. So we will be stepping away for a little bit to go get some food and then be back a little later. And that'll be a great time to catch up on the live stream that just happened.
You want to use your plot twist over here. What's your suggestion again?
Plot twist pretty quick.
A gale force wind comes through and blows all my flight models up.
Okay. Everyone, behold as the banners of Boarsgate begin to flutter in a sudden and seemingly unnatural wind. It carries with it a deep and cackling voice, as if some old crone has influenced events toward her favor. That wind catches aloft the flying beasts of the Legion of Everblight, but it does not do so lightly. Every single one of them begins to have punched holes and rents in its wings as a stronger wind than they can bear hurls them forward. So you're going to suffer D3 damage to each of your war beasts to a random column, so you can sort that for yourself. and you're going to get a bit of additional movement out of that. Let's say I'll give you as many inches of movement as damage they suffer.
So interestingly enough, Get's showing his GM capacity for both kindness and cruelty. For every point of damage that each Legion Warbeast with flight suffers, they will gain an additional movement, inch of movement. So that will hopefully get them over the wall, although not without a price.
And now the attack against the wall resumes on the door.
Narrate this out for us, Lyle.
All right. So we got...
Give us the story.
We got a storm wall. He just marched up to the door. Was raring his fist to go. Takes that first swing and hits it. What's going on with the guy on top of the wall?
Do you think we have a... It sounds like a hunter shooting? So that's Darius's hunter on the wall. Okay, so no boosting. Dice off 1.
42 boxes left on the door.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Okay. It's only 2 points to the gate. So they're knocking, but they're not knocking as hard as they did at round 1.
You'd expect them to be able to do a little bit more there.
I mean, he's still got a lot of focus left to buy additional attacks.
Oh, it's definitely not over.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right. They got this. So 34 left after 6 more points of damage from a follow-up attack.
Thirty-two boxes
left. Got to roll a little better than that. All right. So here it comes again. So 28 boxes left. So that storm wall not exactly doing what you want. You want it to take at least half the damage. So the other storm wall is going to have to roll a little bit higher if it's going to actually successfully knock down this door.
I think the second one's going to do it.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
You think it's inspired?
It's inspired.
Mm.
Not just inspired, but duty-bound.
Duty-bound, honor-bound to knock down this wall?
To pick up the slack of the other one.
All right, I know. The other one, that one needs to go back. It's more white than the other one. That clearly weakened it. It's clearly the one that feels like it's all pretty. It's like, I want to be pretty. Oh. So 25 left. Hits. So Ashland's feet is up, which is obviously skewing the dice roll a bit. So 6 more points, 19 left. The double one's definitely coming into play here, missing the gate from Ashland's feet.
It's a powerful feat if it can make you miss something like a giant
stationary I know. Door. She's playing roulette, man. You gambling and you're losing. 14 left on the door. So almost back to where it was after the end of round 1. Oh, Ashland's feet makes him miss on the door. Probably punches his friend. Clunk. There you go. The ironclad that's been melded into the door deflected it. That's what our players decided.
It's an impressive ironclad.
All right. So get on the door. 7 more points. There's 7 left. Does he have an attack to finish off this door? So Darius moving up. He's going to jackhammer. All right, so we've got plenty of attacks left to go here. Yep, jackhammer does hit without a double one. All right, needs 7 points. 7 points, Lau. Can he do it?
He can do it.
So the 100 gets fried off the top of the gate from Electro Leaps. And the gate has 1 box left.
Incredible.
Oh, man. All right, so jackhammer again. So Hammersmith is taking an Electro Leap. Looks like nothing. All right, on the gate. Finally does it, so the gate collapses.
Ashland's feet made
Don't break the gate,
really hard for them.
And you see him trying to open the gate. Kool-Aid Man in. Oh, it's totally going to broke.
Somebody should just punch that door
I know,
straight through.
You should. You know what? It's a one-time event. Just do it. Just break it. Watch his Dallas's face just cries.
No one put a lot of work into this.
No, not at all. So the front gates have been bashed open. So 1 down, 2 wall sections still to go, though.
Everyone,
and untouched wall sections at this point.
Behold, as with the crack of great timbers snapping in half, the gates of Boarsgate smash down. And as they fall, so too does a strange darkness over the battlefield. You hear cackling and cacophony grow louder and louder.
So, Getz is narrating what's going on right now. What could he be alluding to here? Should be interesting to see. All right, so it looks like we got a spray attack coming.
Oops, sprays, which are also really good in this scenario because they ignore the cover bonus from the wall. They don't ignore the elevation, but still, +2 is much better than +6. See a lot of tape measures being measured right now. Just like, can they get to those walls? It's the next critical point.
It's almost like they're readying their siege ladders.
That's right. Because remember, the attackers only win if they knock down both wall sections and the gate. So they got 2 to go.
There we go. We got, looks like a spray attack being lined up here. Walls are little defense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, so a lot of consideration going on here from our various players.
I think they're a little spooked about Getz's narrative. I would be.
All right, Lyle, give us the rundown. What do you think? Gates down. What's next?
So this is almost the end of the attacker's turn.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see a response from the defense here. It'll be interesting to see if they want to push forces into the doorway or if they just ignore it altogether. Maybe they should just ignore it altogether.
Maybe.
Because they should be protecting the other 2 walls.
I'm pretty sure Darius has still to go. So he's staring down 2 storm walls right now that just bashed open his gate. What he's going to do there is going to be interesting. The Signar, the Haley player with the Minuteman who is facing down Arcadius, still will get to go, although that Minuteman, you'll notice, has been erased from existence. Unsurprising, given that it was staring down a full Pharaoh battle group. the Legion force really didn't gain too much out of its plot twist to move forward faster, but they're in great position for next turn. So just a lot of advancing, not quite to the wall yet. So we did set the wall on fire, though. So
we got a great view of Matt Getz right there, talking it over with someone off camera here.
So yeah, all things considered, the Scorn player or the Pharaoh player is making some attacks on the wall, but he's only managed to set it on fire. He hasn't been able to crack through the arm. Then over here you see a lot of measurements. That Meat Thresher hasn't moved yet, so I'm curious to see where it's going to wind up going, along with the rest of that Pharaoh force.
It should just charge into that wall under the galley and just
bring
the whole thing down.
So Oz's dream, his hope and dream for this game is that the Pharaoh player thinks to use their plot twist token to allow the Pharaoh battle engine to drive up the wall using its basically rolling like crusher thing. I forget what it's called. Cylinder death. Death cylinder.
Death cylinder.
Call it that. Yeah, I like that.
Heated death cylinder.
Heated death cylinder.
I hope it comes true for Oz's sake.
I know. He'd be so happy. He'd be so ecstatic. All right, so the Pharaoh's still advancing forward. The Roadhog leading the way with its flamethrower. There's a Haley right on that wall, though. So, I mean, you know, it's an interesting choice here.
Now, does she have her plot plot twist?
Yes, that plot twist still exists. Thus far, the Kane 3 player has used theirs. The Legion player on the attacker side has used theirs. The Signar player behind the gate, the Darius player, has used theirs. The Scorn player, who's now no longer on the table, having retreated after Morgul died, has used theirs. I don't think that anyone on this side of the table, though, has used their plot twist yet. So there's still a lot of plot twisting yet to come.
If I had that plot twist for Haley, I would beg Getz to let me rewind time for those Pharaoh and send them their speed backwards.
Send their speed backwards? I like it. But, you know, everything that Getz allows you to do always comes with a price. So
That's true.
What would be the penalty you take? She'd probably have to lose some health or something.
Yeah. All of Haley's forces become babies.
Oh, yeah. She's backfired for one round.
Yeah.
They're all just babies for one round. Or if they're a warjack, they're just like ore.
Yeah, reduced to their parts.
Yep. Their constituent parts. So the wall's immune to blast damage. And that's due to solid ground on the defender side.
You know, I kind of wonder how some of those Colossals got up on that wall.
Oh, they can climb. They can climb up and over the walls. Like King Kong, man.
True.
Nothing's going to stop a Colossal when it wants to do something. Now, how the Galleon climbs is a little interesting because it's got to use its crane arm and, like, pull itself up.
Fun. We're using a plot twist over here.
We have a plot twist going on over here.
What are you trying to do?
So Gaston is a journeyman warcaster under the tutelage of Ashland.
Apparently we want Gaston to do something.
He decides that it's his time to rally. And he is a journeyman warcaster, so he doesn't properly have that big spell that is his own.
His feet, yeah.
So he, deep down on the inside of his magical being, finds that power.
Okay. All right, everyone. Behold, as Gaston Cross, facing down against a giant, terrifying, and spectral creature of unknown power, reaches deep inside himself and says, I want to be a warcaster someday and not die like this. I want to achieve the rank of lieutenant, you guys. So, reaching deep inside himself, he summons up the spark of something like the massive feats of power other warcasters display. You asked if your entire battle group could have magical weapon, correct?
Correct.
It seems pretty situationally beneficial to him.
That seems like a spell. That's just Spell Piercer.
That's just Spell Piercer?
Yeah.
So you want to give him feat Spell Piercer?
Correct.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, yes. The weapons of your entire battle group glows, and now they finally have a chance.
For a minute there, I thought Getz was going to deny him.
Deny him? I would have liked that. Oh. Now they're going to give him a little aspect of Gaston 2's feat, and his battle group as well. His whole battle group now is stealth.
Nice.
As well as Spell Piercer.
Nice little tease there.
There you go, yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
Now, you really got to love people getting into the spirit of the narrative by coming up with these really creative plot twists.
Seeing Gaston's Warcaster spark ignite a little bit as he's faced down by a terrifying Wraith engine. See some quick measurement going on there. The head of the mammoth comes off. All right. That Roadhog seems to be going the wrong way.
Maybe he was affected by
Haley's
powers.
Maybe. I think he's just standing that way, or that's a battle boar, it looks like. I think he's just standing that way so he doesn't fall off the hill. But it looks funny. He's like, I'm out.
Yep.
I'm not doing this.
I'm done with this.
So again, we will be breaking at the end of this round for lunch for our players because they've been engaged all day, and we want to make sure that they're fully fed and well rested for these important critical choices. It'll also give us a chance to set up for the big surprise that'll be coming in the next round that we've talked a little bit about. So we will be taking a break for about an hour. We should be back around 3. We'll make sure that we tweet out and let people know through the chat when we're getting ready, like a 10-minute warning. Our programming will not be interrupted, though. We'll be running through one of the PA Plays War Machine previous streams, so you can check that out for the time being. Otherwise, we will be back probably around 3, so I would check around 2:45 just to get a heads up on what our final timing looks like as our players come back. See that sweet mammoth just ready to take the wall down. So Arcadius' a little discussion about how Arcadius' feat is like the best counterplay to Haley 2's feat because effectively just lets them all frenzy. So they get to do their charges, and then they basically have to activate. They don't really need to move anymore because they probably charged what they need to charge.
He's right about that.
All right. You see that open gate right there, the storm walls, being like, hello. We've come to say hi. We're selling Girl Scout cookies.
That one little half jack on the other side of the wall.
That's right. He's like, oh, dear. We've chosen poorly.
So where do you think the attackers stand right now versus the defenders? Who do you think has the upper hand right now?
So the defenders the defenders being able to knock back the wall damage was pretty huge because that wall should have gone down in the first round. At this point, the defenders are looking pretty good, but the fact of the matter is that unless something dramatic happens right now with that Mammoth and Xerxes, And like that wall section is probably going to go down because they're going to activate it first. Because why wouldn't you? The storm walls are going to get to blitz through the center because they're part of the same group. And yeah, I feel like the defenders are it's going to start getting more and more desperate. That said, there's still some twists in store that the players don't know about and really have no control over. So it's all going to depend. There's a lot of game left to play. And a lot of unknowns, really. But the walls are, they have 75 health boxes instead of the 50 of the gate, so they are more durable. But not much can really stand up to a furied, very angry, incited mammoth.
And are we going to see that other Scorn Force return?
I know. What is going to happen with that Scorn Force? What befell them once they ran off the field in cowardice? See the players kind of wrapping up here, doing some quick measurements, trying to decide how best to deal with that super angry mammoth right in his face. All right. So we seem to we have some more wielding dealing for. Apparently, the plot twist suggestion right now is to have the galleon crane the Commodore cannon to be on top of him. I don't know necessarily what that would buy at this point, but
it would buy the galleon some real style points.
Would it? I mean, style for sure, but
we have a shoulder-mounted Commodore.
But the Commodore requires a person to fire it, and I don't think that the plot twist as described is going to pick up those dudes. But you see Getz, he's talking right now. He's talking. Wheeling and dealing. Some consideration here. We're going to see if it's going to happen.
I see Doug Seacat lingering in the back.
He's getting ready to slap down anyone who, goes against canon. Or getting ready to sign Wicked Ways. Do you see Aaron Rudell right there, author of Flashpoint Aftershock, the latest release that we just had from Skull Island?
Doug might have a problem with this shoulder-mounted Commodore idea.
I don't know. I think Doug would be cool with it. I think he'd just giggle about it. And then he'd be like, but how would it fire? Often when faced with craziness, Doug's response is to giggle. All right, we're back to the center point. See some more assaults on the wall happening. Or the defenders desperately trying to get rid of that Wraith engine, thanks to Gaston's plot twist feat. And it looks like he did succeed. That is a dead Wraith engine. Thanks to the Spell Piercer effect from the plot twist, Gaston's battle group was able to get rid of the Wraith engine. So the Crix player still has his plot twist left, which will probably be critical, especially as plot twist gets spent. All of a sudden you're holding all the cards when it comes time to you being able to be like, I bring back the Wraith engine because of necromancy.
Man, after seeing what all these cool things are going on with the plot twist, if I was a Legion player, I'd want a refund on mine.
I don't know. It got him pretty close to the wall, but yeah, it wasn't quite as far as that you might have been hoping.
Yeah, he could have been banking on a little more distance on that.
So thus far, apparently in hopes to deal with Xerxes is over there, they're still trying to wheel and deal on that galleon picking up the Commodore for some reason. Which has some idea which has not been explained yet. I think it's so that it can gain line of sight to Xerxes at this point.
And Getz has warned that he'll allow it, but he won't say what's going to happen.
Yeah, which, is not... Oh. He's going to save the plot twist. I think it was just to get maybe some elevation or something.
Maybe.
But regardless, the Commodore cannon does have line of sight to Xerxes, so it's just going to shoot now. Going to fire a cannonball into that poor man. His Serups can take it. So if Dougal popping his mini feet. So privateer models are all going to get big benefits to their shot, +2 range. So here comes the Commodore shooting at Xerxes. And Gunbjorn disengaged from Xerxes from the ladder and took a free strike. So the Commodore rolls Snake Eyes and misses its shot. So no luck there. And then we still have +2 range on all the other privateer shots. See what else he decides to unload on under Dougal's feet now that the Commodore has ignominiously missed.
You know, I would argue that they're all privateer models.
I mean, they kind of are in his army. That specific force is mostly privateer models. Oh, looks like the galleon might be hopping down. So we're going to see a mini feat here. From I'm not sure who. The statement was that they were hungry and they needed some bacon. Could mean anything. All right. See the Darius player kind of attacking storm walls who have broken through his gate desperately. Comes the roll. Shots. See some deviation. Looks like that shot missed. Looks like dramatic repositioning on the wall, trying to get over to where those Crix models are, as well as the open gate.
I think I'd just be ignoring the open gate.
Would you? You just sacrifice it? You'd be like, go in there, we don't care.
Yeah, just let them in.
Protect the walls.
Protect the walls.
Yeah, but then you have dudes behind you. You're trying to protect the walls. I mean, that's a problem.
Just hold your ground behind the walls you're protecting.
But they're behind the walls too, Lyle. This is science. It doesn't work that way.
You make them come to you. They spend their time doing that.
Except but then once they get to you, you're stuck between two forces.
Well, that could be a problem.
I think it is. It seems like something that you could solve up front, though.
I think it's best to run from your problems.
Oh, okay. It's fair. It's fair. Run from your problems. Yeah, why not? All right, we see some measurements to those storm walls from across the, looks like from across the walls, they're just sniping them. All right. Let's take a look here, see if anything's going to come in. Some quick reposition measurements. Oh, so we have another plot twist that's get called. So I'm sure we'll hear from. So apparently we had a Pharaoh Warbeast get hit by the galleon's crane, or by the galleon's harpoon, and get pulled in. And the goal here is to have the crane hurl that thing back into the meat thresher. So let's see what our GM Gets here has to say. He's measuring. He's checking a lot of measurements here. All right.
Here we go.
Let's see if we get the behold. All right, so here we go. There comes the behold.
All right, so we have another plot twist happening over here with the galleon. What is it you're doing?
I've reeled in a warhog, and now I intend to throw it into the meat processor, also known as a meat thresher, to break down that bacon so the post-battle feast can be commenced properly.
Everybody wants to see how the sausage is made. All right.
Exactly.
So, everybody, behold, as with its large cargo claw, the galleon atop the wall fires and reels in one of Arcadius's experiments. Arcadia carving is the same. Yeah. Reaches down with his cargo claw, clamps the beast's head in its talon-like jaws, and hurls it, going for distance at the meat thresher.
All right. So this is what's happening. So now we have to roll the hit.
He's boosting the hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it lands in the gears of the meat thresher, and he's doing 4 dice of damage with his strength.
So he's knocked down. He takes 4 dice of damage as he gets ground up. So now the thresher, so the throw damage has happened. And now the part of the plot twist was that because the thresher's rolling forward, the poor war beast that got hit by it is now going to take damage from the meat thresher.
It's like Ged said, it's how the sausage is made.
All right. So we see the roll for the damage. Hungerford asking the players at the center what their plan is to deal with 2 storm walls running through that gate. And wrapping up the last few activations that are happening here before we break. Again, we'll be breaking for about an hour. So it looks like about 3 p.m. Pacific is when we'll be returning. Be sure to pay attention to the stream. We're going to keep our coverage going. We're also going to have some filler game, previously PA plays games going in. So the stream coverage will not break. We'll just be stepping away from this game to give our players a chance to eat, fuel back up for the rest of this marathon, and we'll also be setting up a couple surprises for them while they step away. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. That's a lot of dice that just got rolled over there. I'm not even sure.
No one knows
what's happening. I think he's rolling multiple attacks at the same time and using different dice, which is pretty genius if you're making the same attacks. Or he's just rolling his dice and finding the ones that he likes the best.
Yeah. You got to determine which ones are the strong ones.
I mean, I fully agree with that. There are always dice that are going to treat, like, what's going on there? I mean, come on. Move those dice. That's a lot of lock and load dice right there. Everything getting rolled like crazy. See him getting kind of sorted out here by some. I'm fascinated by what's happening with those dice. As our players kind of talk out the end of this turn here. And we're going to pick up all of them and roll them again. So Bart is going to pass batten down the hatches. And that is going to be the end. So round 2 has been completed, and we will be moving on to a lunch break. All right.
And we'll be back at 3 o'clock.
With that, yeah. We'll be returning at 3 o'clock after the break. Quick wrap-up. Those was exciting 2 rounds. We had the attackers make a super strong push in the very first activation of the game. They brought the gate down to almost destroyed at 16 points. The defenders counterplayed using their plot twist token to basically rip apart an ironclad and have Darius rebuild the gate back to full. And then we saw some good back and forth. Morgul got aced by a blinded Kane who used his spell echolocation plot twist to fire him down. Morgul tried to save himself from death using his own plot twist and sacrificing a cannoneer who basically got exploded.
That's right.
But it didn't pay out in the end. Morgul was killed. Scorn had to run away in a shame, I guess. However, it sounds like there might be some wheeling and dealing going on with the darker forces that are at play. We saw the Legion encroach. We saw a Wraith Engine run through. We saw Gaston use his plot twist to unlock some of his Warcast potential and find a bit of his feat that's coming in his 2nd edition. As in a show of power to get Spellpiercer and kill the Wraith Engine that was engaging him. I mean, it's been crazy. You're staring at me you're just so blown away by the excitement here.
It's
amazing. I know, mesmerized by the retell.
To even be able to recap
by the recap.
Will Schick has a photographic
exactly.
memory.
We're good to go. We had Gunbjorn get engaged by a Rhino, a Serops charging Xerxes, threw down a ladder, tried to engage him. Gunbjorn took the hit to the face as he ran away. So much stuff has happened, and so much is yet to go.
So many twists.
This is basically where we are right now. We are at WWE levels of excitement and hype. And who knows what's coming next? We know
our table could be smashed at any moment.
It could be. They could go straight through the table. Who knows? Come back. Join us in an hour. We will be here for the exciting conclusion of this battle at Boarsgate, where the fate of Holden will be decided. Does he go Grimkin? Does he go Merc? We don't know. We'll find out next. Join us in 1 hour, folks.
See you guys.